What's up? We're back. Another video. Today was actually a pretty good day. Yeah, I'm gonna break down what I did, and like I said, we'll learn from it. So let's log into my account here. Pretty sure I took it on ES. Yes, I did. Alrighty. So if you saw in the thumbnail already, we did have a winning trade today. $1,100 profit. Pretty solid. No longer in the negatives. You guys knew we were already down $1,000 if you watched the previous videos, but this trade got us a break even, so that's pretty good. So let's go break down what I did and why I did it. Let's first scale to the 4 hour just to get a look at where price was going for the day. So previous week we completely inversed this morning gap from October, so we're pushing lower. I knew I wanted to short today because we tapped into this 4 hour Fair Value Gap right here and continuing lower, so that gave me confluence that we are respecting bearish order flow. And we also inversed this 4 hour Fair Value Gap over here, closed through, went even lower. So for me, that was enough needed to show that we wanted to go lower for the day and for the session. Same thing with the 4 hour. Let's go in the 4 hour on NQ. Same exact shit. Inverse this gap over here. I knew I wanted to go lower for the day. We were respecting bearish order flow from these legs down. Although we did get some bullish legs up and we're inversing these up here, we still were making lower highs. So as you guys know, trends work as they make higher highs and higher lows, or lower highs and lower lows. In this case, we keep making consistent lower highs. So we're following this downtrend. So now let's go into the 1 hour on both pairs here. And before I do that, let me go back real quick. On this 4 hour, I marked out this unfilled 4 hour Fair Value Gap on NQ, and same with on ES, this unfilled Fair Value Gap on ES right here. That actually plays a crucial role in why I entered the market, and I'll break that down a little bit. So in our 1 hour, what do we see? They mark out hourly highs, hourly lows on both pairs. We do the same exact shit on both pairs. Hourly highs, hourly lows, right? And then we have our session highs, session lows for Asian and London on both pairs. On NQ here, we have this Fair Value Gap that I marked out. It was around 9 o'clock when we started inversing. We didn't have any news for today. We just had GBP news at 7 a.m., but I'm not trading at that time, so it doesn't matter. We had this hourly Fair Value Gap I just marked out, and same with ES. We had that hourly Fair Value Gap as well. So the 1 hour Fair Value Gap here, 4 hour Fair Value Gap right here. Same thing, 1 hour, 4 hour. So let's go down to our 15-minute on both pairs just to show. Okay, so like I said, we have our Asian session highs, Asian session lows, London session high, London session lows on both pairs marked out. We get a liquidity sweep on New York stock session. We sweep London session highs and make a swing high here, but we're still playing below the previous highs. So we're making lower highs. We're following that downtrend, right? So we do that on both pairs. We get that liquidity sweep. So I'm thinking, okay, so we're gonna have a reversal. We're respecting high time frame bearish confluences, right? Okay. So that being said, this 1 hour Fair Value Gap on both pairs gets completely inversed at 9:15. So as you guys know, I like to trade macro at 9:30. I don't want to trade that early, 15 minutes before 9:30. I just didn't want to do it. I did see this happen though. So I was like, okay, shit, that's good. We're definitely going to go lower then if we're completely inversing an hourly Fair Value Gap. And then again, we have this 4 hour sitting below and this 4 hour sitting below. And on both pairs, the same exact thing happens. We completely inverse it, right? So let's get on even further and show you the exact entry that I had and why. NQ was looking kind of pretty as well. at 950, we fell a little bit shy from inversing it. So I kind of held off because the entry on ES just looked a little bit better for me. But both were pretty solid if you're trading on either or. Okay, so I'm on the 5 minute right now, right? So like I told you guys that I like high time frame confluences telling me the direction that price wants to go, right? We want lower time frames respecting that high time frame move, right? So we have high time frame for value gaps that are getting inversed. Let's see the lower time frames respect it by closing through it and retracing. So this 4 hour for value gap right here, right? We completely inverse. So after I see this close on the 1 minute, right? Scale down. Once I see this close on the 1 minute, all the way through, I see us tap into here, start going lower, inverse this 1 minute fair value gap, continue going lower, inverse this 4 hour fair value gap right there. That little bearish candle was a body candle close through that fair value gap. That was everything I needed because we have the high time frame inverse, we have the low time frame respect, right? And on the 5 minute, we had a bearish candle close through here as well. So the high time frames are aligning with the smaller time frames. So I entered right here. I wanted to put my stop loss a little bit higher, but it was a little bit too much for me to risk. It was like $1,200. I ended up putting it right above this 1 minute for value gap right there, just to be safe. We barely go into drawdown for this trade. Get a big rip down immediately, and then I'm gonna move this out of the way, but we form a 1 minute for value gap. We tap into it and then continue lower. So after I saw us make this bearish close here, I put my stop loss at break even because I'm like, dude, there's no way in hell that we're gonna go any higher. So for the sake of saving my money, I put it at break even there. But originally that's where my stop loss was at. Let me put it back just to show you. I entered right there. Move that up a little bit. Put it right about there. So today I got a 1.64 RR trade. Not bad, right? Got that 1 minute retrace, continue pushing lower. This is actually I think this is a 30-minute low. Or no, it was an hourly low, sorry. I targeted this just because I wanted to take my profits and play it safe, knowing that I was in drawdown and I didn't really want to fuck around anymore. I just wanted to take my profits. And although I could have held all the way to down here, right, and had a crazy RR day, and it would have hit, like, dude, we were ripping down. High time frame inverse fair value gaps, low time frame retracements pushing even lower. I could have done that, right? If I was on an XFA or I had a lot of wiggle room, I definitely would have fucked around with that, right? And taken partials maybe here and then taking my full TP right there. But for the sake of today, I just needed to get a win under my belt and get out of drawdown, which is exactly what we did. And we're $112 up, which is nothing, but we're not $1,000 down. So we're back at even here. So yeah, this is the trade I took. I took it on ES. I think it was 2 contracts. Yeah, I took 2 contracts on ES. I'm really fucking with the 2 contracts on ES. I'm feeling comfortable doing that. 2 contracts on NQ is just a little much for me. The drawdown is just way too big. Stop loss is way too big for me. I just can't do it. So I'm just going to stick with 1 contract on NQ and just kind of target $1,000 profit per trade. At most $1,500. That's what Top Step allows you to get. But yeah, this is the trade I did for today. 35 points. Pretty solid trade. I'm very happy with what I had rolling today. Followed all my confluences. Followed my risk management plan. Moving forward, what would I do? I would do exactly what I just did for today. I was patient. I could have entered here, right? I could have entered here, and after I saw this inverse fair value gap at 924, I could have broken my rules and traded earlier because we just inversed an hourly fair value gap. I could have been like, all right, we're in, right? Put my stop loss above the fair value gap. What happens? I get stopped out, right? And then TP ends up getting smashed. But I played it safe. and I followed my rules, knowing that there was another high time frame fair value gap sitting below, and I wanted to see inverse, or at least see what would happen when it tapped into it. And we ended up pushing lower. And then that's when I knew that we were definitely going to go lower, because we invalidated this one up here, and we invalidated this one up here. So that was everything I needed to know that we were going to go lower. Other than that, pretty solid day. Even lunch session looked pretty good too. There's actually, we tap into equilibrium here, and let me draw this out. Yeah, that's pretty solid. If you're trading at 10:30, I could have stayed on a little bit longer, even waited for it to push shorter. We retraced back into this equilibrium in here, push even lower, invalidating all of these for value gaps on here. That's actually a really, really solid trade as well that you could have taken if you waited a little bit longer. But yeah, guys, that's the importance of today, is being patient. I think that's what I'm going to title this video. It's all about being patient and finding your entries, because when you do that, you're more confident and you know you're going to get shit rolling. So that wraps up this video for today. Pretty solid day, and I will see you guys on Friday. Peace, y'all.